Okay guys, I had to put up my hair for this one because it's about to get serious. um, this one is the kitchen video, and my kitchen is so disorganized. I will tell you right now that not only are my floors dirty because it's due for a cleaning, but also this category, I mean really, I'll just be honest, I haven't invested a lot into this apartment because we're hoping to purchase our first home in the next year or two. And I really haven't, gone over budget of anything that we need to spruce it up. We like it as is. I don't mind that it's bare. Somewhat that, I don't have something on the wall as decoration or whatever. So I'm going to show you this checklist for this category. Paper or plastic bags, reusable shopping bags, zip top, fold top bags, all this stuff. It even continues on to the next page. Cooking utensils, small appliances, canning equipment, dish towels and rags, etc. So I'm going to be doing this video in a few different sections because it's going to take me time to pull things out of each cupboard, etc. So I'm going to start by giving a very brief tour of what it already is when it comes to what's in the kitchen. For now, the dishwasher's empty, so I can show you everything that we do have. Let's see, we'll start here. Basic stove, I have a dish towel there, and this is where we keep our spices, which is something I'll get back to when we go through the pantry section. I keep our fresh produce here. I would love to change this over to a like a hanging fruit basket so that it takes up less counter space, and I think it'd be nice because some of the things need to be separated from like you don't want the clementines with the onions, but right now they are. It works for now because before I just had it all over the counter, and at least I have something to separate it. In here I have all of my utensils, measuring cups, and these kind of measures. This is something that we use for our baby-led weaning to crinkle cut her food to make it easier to hold. Spatulas, tongs, things like that, everything that we use for cooking. Okay. In here, now I have, this is where the pot holders, the bags, the paper, store bags go. Oh, and here is where the dishware is kept. Bowls, medium-sized plates, large plates, mugs, cups, and our salad bowl. There's also a liquid measuring cup back there. On top of the fridge is my glass bottle for water. In here, let's see, not very well kept because it's hard for me to get it up there, but I have the crock pot. It's a hand mixer that I use for making things and potatoes and things like that. And then I have, oh, see, forgot I had that, the ice cube tray. We got that when my mom came to stay for a couple days because she likes ice. And then my serving platter. So that's gonna be on the tidy list for sure. Down here is the mess of doom. I have all of my glass Tupperware. The colander we recently acquired because I think we went a year and a half without any strainer at all, and my husband said, enough, I want a strainer. So we got a colander. Mixing bowls and eating bowls. We use all this stuff for pretty much everything. That's where the lids are. Mason jars used to all be in one tidy area, so it needs to be retidied. And then the glass lids over there. So all of this will go through a little more. This is the pantry here. Now I'm anti-microwave, but the apartment came with a microwave, so it has to have one. I did try stashing it away on the floor, but that was kind of silly. And since then my husband has begun eating microwave popcorn, so it's here sadly. But we did go a good 2.5 years without a microwave. I love it. I think it's wonderful. You don't need one. I don't think that they're safe or healthy for your food at all. But until we get a house of our own, this one has to stay. My husband drinks coffee. And here is the cutlery. I used to have it on a block and got that off the counter by putting it in here. I'd like to upgrade this drawer by putting a sticky mat down of some sort because they kind of slide around and that's not ideal, but they're all in there. And here is the silverware. These are the, like, steak knives, for lack of a better term, but sharp kitchen knives. You know, butter, simple knives, forks, spoons. These are my daughter's that we practice with, our vegetable peeler, and we have 2 clips back here, bag clips. Under the sink is a toaster we recently got. That is like a bread bowl, a cleaning bowl. I use it for a lot of things. A vase that I didn't used to own, but I got it for my baby shower. I guess they felt bad for me because I used mason jars if I ever got flowers, and so they said, keep the vase, you need one. So now I have one. Trash bags and some cleaning things. I'll get more into this, of course, later. So up there is more, pardon my going through laundry and stuff over on the other end there, but up there is food stuff. And then in here I've got a mandolin and a spiralizer for the raw foods. I've got a salad spinner and then some misplaced pantry items that don't belong. Old or not in the right cupboard. Okay, so that is everything for in here. I'm going to have to pull out the bags and the different things. On the sink I just have some dish soap. I've got a scrubby I just got. We just recently were given for Christmas the new pot and pan set, and so I got rid of the steel wool. We got that instead, and then some fruit and vegetable cleaner. So this is the end of the first part of the segment because I'm going to get some things out according to the list. Let's see. Paper or plastic bags, reusable shopping bags. Basically, the first section is bags. So I'm going to go ahead and grab those out and then get started. Okay, I got the bags together. These are my store bags. They are very multi-use, these reusable bags. For example, these 2 right here, I have currently housing some cloth diapers that we're not using at the moment. These ones will be back in commission in a couple weeks, and these ones I have set aside to sell. That don't fit or whatever. So I'm currently using that, but it's technically our store bag. Same here, a nice big bag. We have at least one more I can think of that is housing other things at the moment. This one we just got for Christmas. It was a gift bag for a Christmas gift, and obviously it's a big, beautiful bag. So we have a lot, I guess, but they come in handy for lots of things. As far as reusable bags, I try to not acquire those. We do have a few hanging on the back of the kitchen door, and those are going to go to recycling next time I pop by the grocery store. So I suppose we should downsize some of these, right? So obviously the 4 big ones are going to stay, and then I have a few favorite little ones. I feel like it's nice to have one really little one for like grains or something like that if that's what you're going to do. I pretty much use them all. This one I actually just found buried in the closet, but this would be a great size to use. So we're going to use that. I think we'll probably get rid of this one though because we have a couple in the same size, and we don't use this one much when we go to the store. So I'm going to get rid of one, and really what I do is I kind of just stack them all together. They all kind of fit inside each other. It's kind of hard to do holding the phone at the same time, so I apologize for the quality of this video, but this one's a little more hands-on than the other videos have been. So we've got a few, and believe it or not, we really do use all these different things. If we didn't use it, that'd be a different story. And then these 2 would fit in there as well, but they're doing another job for me right now, but I just keep them all in one bag, and then I just grab the bag and go to the store, and these I keep in our utility room. So I am going to get rid of one. How's that? I could probably do better, but if we use them, then I think they serve a good purpose. So that is all for bags. Okay, so for dish towels, washcloths, that sort of thing, I keep these. This is our utility laundry room back here that I'm referring to, so it's right adjacent to the kitchen. So I keep some things in there. This is the bin that I use for keeping cloth things. So you may have seen the zero waste video, and this is what I still keep them in. We just had 2 dishcloths before that were handmade by somebody in our church and given to us, and those lasted us 4 years. And just probably 5 days ago, I finally had to say goodbye to them. I love the reusable dishcloths that you can just throw in the washer and be ready to use again. But after a few years, they got a bit of a smell. So I did get a 4-pack of these, which actually, to be frank, are so much easier to use. They are more grabby and scrubby. I have one in the wash right now. I usually store them on the sink faucet. And we did only have 2, but maybe that's why they smelled. So I think 4 will be okay. Well, you know, we use them until they're dirty and you gotta wash them, and then there'll always be another. So we did upgrade to a few extra things in the kitchen than we used to have, and I'll get into that. But we also had 4 dish towels, and we still have 4, but there were 2 that I had that came in a pack that we hated. They were like microfiber or something from the dollar store, and they held about every hair that ever showed up in your house. So for wiping out glasses and things, they were kind of nasty. So I ended up going and getting the one that you saw on the oven, and then this one. They were 88 cents each. Not a big deal. And then I have a green one in the wash, and then one of these that match as well. And these 2, they work a lot better. So we still have 4. I just am donating the ones. Maybe someone can cut them up and use them for something better than wiping the counters down, because they didn't work great for that. I still have these from the zero waste video. They've been great. They stain up quite easily, but they're a great fabric, and we use them to even just set a snack on or whatever. They've come in handy. So this is, we still have, I think it was 8 of these, and the others are in the wash right now. In my bin, I have some, what's the word I'm looking for? Disposable napkins, which, if they come along, you know, I'm certainly not just going to toss them out. So I save them in here to use for if there's like, I don't know, some emergency that you need a disposable for. So I do have a couple that have happened to come into the house in there. That way they're not just thrown out and wasted or whatever. And then, like I said, I had saved some, you know, this was like a cloth diaper, and this is a Green Mountain diaper, and I couldn't sell it with some of the other diapers because it had some staining on it, but it is so fabulously absorbent that it works great for spills and things like that, so I'm super glad we kept it, really. And then just some of the cut-up receiving blankets. You can see I've used this one for paints and, you know, wiping off my paintbrushes and things like that, and cleaning surfaces. And so that's in there. Also, there was a random cloth that doesn't, I'm not really sure why it was in there. I guess it just got mixed in when we had some of our cloth wipes in there, and it doesn't belong. So I'm going to take that one out because it is misplaced, and send that one off. So this is the bin, and it goes on top of the dryer right next to me over here beyond the door. So that is it for wipes, I think. Paper towels and napkins. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so check. So when it comes to pots and pans, this is what we have. And the red ones are what we recently just got the other day for Christmas. And we did just have this silver set. The red set actually didn't have a few of the things that we typically use, like the stock pot, and so I sort of mixed and matched the set and was able to give my mother the rest for our up north place that doesn't have a matching set. And she was glad to have that up there. That way nothing went to waste. The original set we had for years, it was actually our wedding gift from my parents, so kind of stayed in the family anyway. What I did is I have all this out, and as you saw originally underneath, I took everything out. What was under there was my NutriBullet, my juicer, my food processor, all the lids, and all the pots and pans. And as you saw, it was like cattywampus. So I reorganized this constantly, and it's always just a disaster under there, no matter how hard I try. So what I would love to do eventually is get the stacker type things where it separates one pot and pan from another. But I'm making a conscious effort to not purchase things during this KonMari and just use what I already have, because often I will, go out and get something, but I don't want to be a victim of purchasing organizational tools for things that I have. And while I'd eventually like to get like the fruit basket and the stacker for this, maybe I will find one at a thrift store, maybe one will be gifted to me, I don't know. But I don't want to run out and spend money on something. I'm really trying to change my ways in that way. So hopefully you understand that it's not going to be as good as it can be, but I'm going to make do with what I have, and I hope that that resonates with someone who's trying to do the same. The pot has to, let's see, I'm just going to sit here with you and do this. I want to show you what I did instead. I'm hoping to find room elsewhere for the other things that were under here. And what I did was, I've got the food processor in a little tote I've been saving for just a purpose like this. Everything fit in there perfectly. My NutriBullet fit. I have, obviously you saw several of these that I was saying I tried to make her the baby a changing table with these totes, and that didn't work out. So I had the totes. I knew I wanted to save them. They were only $1 each, but I thought they'd come in handy, and they do. All the NutriBullet parts in one place. I love it. I also am going to use the lids in a tote, and there's so many cute ideas. There's my pile over there. You see behind it with the tote bag and such. That's where I'm keeping things I'm gonna declutter. So anyway, there's so many organizational things on Pinterest that just look mouth-watering, but for now I have a tote, and that's what's going to be in, and honestly it's already better than just floating around the cupboard. And then my juicer. So I'm just going to start with what I can work into this cabinet. So I'm kind of doing this here. Alright, and I am going to put everything down, see how I can sort it out, and get back to you. Ta-da! It's all in there. I did decide to put the NutriBullet set in there because I had the room for it, and my other small appliances like the juicer, the food processor, will kind of take up a lot of room, so I didn't want to push it. My flash is on so you can maybe see better, but my stock pot was originally kept up here, but now that we have two pots, it's too high, and it kind of always was. So I have these down here, and these have handles, so they're a little easier to grab. Honestly, the whole cupboard isn't a great setup because you got to bend down, and I mean, first world problems, I guess, but I don't love the setup. So like I said, eventually I'd love to transition to something different, but for now, I've got skillet and frying pan type things stacked here, pots here, lids, and then my NutriBullet because there was a space for it and it worked. I mean, I'm going to chalk it up as a win. I feel like it's an improvement. If I can, get my husband on board with putting pots with pots and pans with pans, I think it's already an improvement, even just to not have the lids floating around with the rest of it. And I'm really grateful that I happen to have those canvas totes. Typically I wouldn't condone saving things just because, but I had a feeling for sure that those would come in handy. And I labeled them with my label maker in my craft tote, right? Alright, so that one I can mark off the list. Okay, so for this cupboard, all I really can do with this one is go ahead and reorganize it, which I feel like I do over and over because the bowls get put in, you know, not stacked like that. So it kind of makes a bit of a mess sometimes, but that's really the worst in here. I'm not really sure how to downgrade this much more. We do use all of these bowls. I feel like I could do with some of the less Corels, but then there's that whole it's in a set problem. But you know, I could part with that. I would say these ones we use as our casserole type dishes. These ones we use for mixing up, you know, like a fruit salad or, you know, whatever kind of side dish you do. We use these for different eatings. These big bowls, I mean, we do use them all, so I don't know, but this actually has a set of, I think, 3 more. I have 2 that are in the fridge holding food right now, and then I have 1 in the car that was just returned to me from a holiday where I brought some food. This was a gift 2 Christmases ago. I wouldn't have bought it for myself normally. I feel like, you know, we already have enough bowls. They are, on the other hand, a different, pardon the water stains, but they are, on the other hand, a different material than the other bowls, and they have like the little, you know, measuring things inside of them, and they are very nice. They clean up nicely, except for the water stains, and they do well. There's the colander that we ended up getting, and the steamer basket, which we use with baby-led weaning. We steam a lot of things for the baby, like broccoli. There I have the lids that go with, the red ones go with the metal bowls, and the white ones go with, like that one there. Which makes me realize, let's see, this one goes with this, that one goes with that. Oh, you know what? I just realized we don't have this bowl anymore. Huzzah! See? Making room. Okay, so there's that. And then, let's see, the blue one goes to this glass one back here. That one's like some kind of like a bread one. I just use it to store stuff in like everything else. The glass dishes, the glass tops that go with the Corningware, I think it is, or Corel, Corningware. Anyway, I use those in lieu of Tupperware, of plastic Tupperware. I have the mason jars that I use for storing things in, like in the bulk section, or liquid somethings that I'm storing, like homemade dressings. I use this for on the go. It's like a glass mason jar type thing, and it comes with its own straw. So I use that if I'm gonna like take a beverage out of the house. The one back there is my husband's that he just recently brought home, and I've never asked him about it. I think he does use it every now and again, but I'm gonna double check with him, because if he doesn't, it's gonna go. This one I bought with the intention to take with me for water when I was trying to stop using water bottles again. I haven't used it in all that time. I guess I don't take water out with me much. I don't know. I guess if I haven't used it in like 7, 8, 10 months, maybe I'm never going to use it, right? These are the airlock jars that I also mentioned in that video. That's everything I have in this cupboard as far as storage solutions go, and, you know, cookware, bakeware, that kind of thing. I think I'm gonna say sayonara to this one because I never used it. It's a tough call because I would still think if I want to take water out, that's what I'd use. But, you know, in all that time I never have, so I guess I don't do that much. I guess I don't bring water with me places, as weird as that is to say. I don't know. But if I do, if I'm just going like in the car, I have the little red jar, and that's what I bring. So this green one can go, and I'm going to ask my husband about his tall cup there. It would go with the cups, but it's too tall and it doesn't fit in that cupboard. So, the only other thing is I found another mason jar. One of them didn't have a lid, so I'm thinking one might have gotten lost or rusted out or something. So I took the lid and put it on the third jar, and this one's going to go because it doesn't have a lid, so I can't really use it for anything. Alright, and that is it for that section. Guys, it's a new day. I couldn't finish after the glass Tupperware drawer yesterday. Baby woke up, time to make dinner. All I could do for that day. So, she's on her first nap, so we're going to get back started. Next on the list is, let's see, I checked off house plants and seed cuttings. Don't have any of that right now, although I would like to get an aloe vera plant at some point, maybe when we move. And I checked off the pots and pans because that's just what we just did, as well as casserole dishes, steamer baskets, and mixing bowls. That all was included in the cupboard you saw yesterday. Next was cutting boards. This is what we have for cutting boards. I don't love that it's plastic. I think I've had it years though. I had two. They came in a pack of 2, and one got cut, and so it had to go. And this one's kind of ready to go soon too. So I would like to get a wooden cutting board if I can find one at a thrift store soon. I've had my eye out for one, but haven't found one yet. But when I get a wooden one, this one can go. It's quite old anyway. It's probably time. But I just have the one, and I keep it under the kitchen sink, just on the corner. Next is the baking things, baking pans and tins, baking utensils, racks, baking accessories like candles and sprinkles. So I pulled all of that out here. This is what I had in the drawer that's below the oven that you just pull out. That's where I keep all that kind of thing. So since I have that open, I'll go through. I have these 2 cookie sheets, and we've been talking about actually replacing these because I have a really bad habit of buying from the Dollar Tree, and they, I don't think rust is the right word, but if you can see, this happens. I don't know exactly what it is. We usually line our things, but I am going to let these go because we did want nicer ones, and I've bought a few from the Dollar Tree, and this always happens within no time. I'm going to pick up some nicer ones. So these are going to go in the pile of things that we're saying goodbye to. These here, if anyone wants to tell me in the comments what I can use these for, these just came in our new set of cookware that I mentioned that we got for Christmas. And I have no idea what to do with them. They're cast iron. There's 2 of these little guys that I guess are for side dishes. And, you know, we'll see if they end up getting any use. I've only had them about 2 weeks and haven't used them yet, but they came with these little holders here. Because I'd imagine the pan gets hot. But I'm keeping those for now as they're brand new. I'd like to try and see how they work. As well as I have 2 cake pans that are nice quality. Those ones I'm going to keep because I do, the only baking I really do is for like baking that I do for others outside of our family. Like I'll make treats for my husband's coworkers whenever the seasons come around, Christmas cookies or, you know, whatever. I don't do much of that for our own family. We don't eat a lot of that kind of stuff. I do have 2 cookie sheets, and you know what, I haven't really examined these in a long time. Also from the Dollar Tree, I believe, and they are also rusting. Can you see? Goodness gracious. I'm out of my loop. It shows you how much baking I do, I guess, but these are going to go for nice stuff too. I mean, I guess sometimes when it comes down to it and what you spent over and over again for the same product at the Dollar Tree, you may as well have just bought the nice kind once and not kept having to cause so much waste and that sort of thing. Upon inspection, this was in the bottom of the oven drawer. I didn't realize we actually don't have this 3x9 anymore. When it comes to casserole dishes, we just use the glass ones. And this was originally, it clipped on and went on the 3x9 for travel. That was a Christmas gift about 3 Christmases ago, I think. And I'm not even sure how long we haven't had that 3x9, but it's been a good at least year, so it can go. I have this little pan here, if you can see it.
I use this for things, so that one can stay. This is probably another Dollar Tree, but it hasn't rusted out yet. So when it does, I'll replace it so that I have just nice bakeware that I can use in the long term. But for now, it's still working. Same with this. I have 2 of these. I bought these when I wanted to make. They're still in the freezer. You can see. Yes. Spinach pucks. Spinach pucks, you know, I basically juiced spinach, and then I filled it in those little cupcake tins, and they were ready to go for smoothies. They were for part of my like postpartum meals, so I didn't have to do all this, you know, juicing and whatnot at the time. And so that's what I bought these for, but they'd also be good for breakfast, you know, mini muffins, energy cupcakes or whatever. Anyway, I think those are good to have, and I've only used them once so far, I think. So maybe I'll come up with some uses for them to get more of my money's worth, my $2, you know. I have a very bad habit of trying to buy a little too affordably. These I used to have 4 because I used to try and make bread several years ago, and it was sort of a new hobby of mine at the time. And I had a recipe that called for, it made 4 loaves, so I had 4 of these, and then I went down to just 2, and you know what? I haven't made bread in years since it was a hobby. So I don't really eat a lot of bread slices, and I don't make them anymore. I don't even have any yeast in the house to make them. So these, I'm gonna say it's time to go. I think they were just picked up at a thrift store. They can go right back to a thrift store, so somebody else can use them now. Go in my pile. And then when it comes to baking accessories, I don't have any candles, but I did have these sprinkles. These were both from, this was from Halloween brownies I made for my husband's coworkers, and these were from Valentine's Day cookies I made for them. These will work for other seasons. These I just tried the other day to use in a sensory toy, that like a DIY Pinterest sensory toy, but they just melted, and I'm not going to use these until next Halloween, and by then I'm sure they'll be expired, so these are going to go. Alright, so I went ahead and I wiped out the bakeware drawer. I'm going to just stick everything back in there, and then I'll pan back over. Okay. Now the baking things I keep up in the like where I keep the, you know, flour type stuff, olive oil. Okay, so this is. Does it show? Does it? Maybe? No? There we go. Okay. It's all in there. Obviously, there's a lot less than there was. Sorry for the poor quality of the video. I am, like I said, going to replace the cooling racks and the cookie sheets for something maybe a little healthier. Doesn't have rust on it. And I don't have any use for the lid or the bread pans anymore. So that is all for that section. I'm going to go ahead and check those off and then come back when I have the other stuff out. For the next category, it is cooking utensils, as well as coffee cups, thermo mugs, glasses, and stemware. I just went through the drawer I keep the cooking utensils in and put everything out on the counter to start with, and this is what I have. First off, there were toothpicks in there, and I'm going to relocate those. I'm trying to remember what I even got those for. I think I got them for our vegan cabbage rolls, maybe, and then sometimes I'll use them to stick in the whatever I'm baking to make sure it's done. But I'm going to relocate that. It doesn't really belong in the utensils. These came from the new set that we received this Christmas. I like that they're bamboo. However, I've been finding them difficult to clean. These two are all we've used so far. I haven't had anything like them before, like the way this is like a flat spatula. And I've never had a, I don't know, a baking spatula, I guess it'd be called, baking spoon. I'm going to hang on to it and see if we end up using it, just because we've only had it 2 weeks. I never used one before, so chances are I won't, but I do want to, you know, wait and give it a try and see if we end up using it for the next goodie that I cook or bake for someone. We have tongs. This was with our old set, and basically, like I said, we had to mix and match, kind of, where I had one with slats and one without, and this one came, you know, without slats, so I kept the one that did and put the other set in my mom's stuff. We have a spatula like that. I believe somewhere we have a spatula that doesn't have slats, or maybe I got rid of it because we have that one. That makes sense. That's probably what I did. A whisk, a can opener, a dough pizza cutter. These go to my hand mixer. This is the crinkle cutter for babies' raw foods. See, these are the measuring bowls. We used to just have little measuring cups and measuring spoons in a set, but these are obviously lovely, and we did that. Also, I didn't think to bring down that I keep this in the cupboard above. It doesn't fit in the drawer. And then our kitchen scissors. So, not really sure what can go here. And like I said, I'd really like to upgrade these drawers a little bit to having like something that, you know, it doesn't slide around. But for now, I'm not doing any extra purchasing for this project. Okay, so then I'm going to just kind of stick all my doohickeys in here. The whisk. Keep the little short ones. We don't use these as much, so they can go in the back. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to keep this one back in the cupboard where it was, because it fits there, and I know where it is. And then this here. Okay. They're all quarter cup through a cup little bowls. And then these, I mentioned the other day to my husband, I'd love to have like little, I'm not sure if eye hook is the right word, but you know, those little gold hooks that you can put on the wall and have them just hang from there. Because for now I feel like they kind of rattle around a little bit, and I don't want to chip the paint. So I'm just going to stick these here for now. That leaves the crinkle cutter we use all the time. It helps her hang on to slippery foods and not get so frustrated. Now the scissors, because they're somewhat utility and somewhat, you know, kitchenware, I'm going to put them in here. I feel like that's a more reasonable spot for them. I'm torn about 2 tongs, I really am. This probably sounds silly, but we use the long ones. Well, we use the one for like mixing up our salad fixings, and I just got these a couple months ago. I would have only bought one, but they came in a set of 2. We use one for something that's frying in a pan and like turning, and we use one for mixing up a salad. Really, wouldn't they do both? So, I don't know, I guess I feel like it would make sense to keep the long one, I guess, so that you're at a distance from the spatter. That's how I'm making it logical anyway. So maybe the short one should go. I don't know. I feel like the husband's going to ask me, where's the short one? Alright, and these I'm going to relocate with the hand mixer. They used to be there, and I just got lazy about reaching up top above the fridge to stick them back. So that is what the drawer is now. So this is going to go in the pile, and then this is going to go up top, which it's not on the list, I don't think, but I'll do after this section. Next is all the glassware and mugs. I want to talk a little bit about our dish set. For the last year, we only had 4 of everything. We had 4 mugs. My husband has one he takes with him to work that isn't in here.
4 glasses, and the glasses are the same, but we only had 4 plates and 4 bowls, 4 forks, 4 knives, 4 spoons. And last month my mother gave me this set of dishes that were my grandmother's, and so that's nice. They're obviously a much nicer brand than what I bought from the Dollar Tree. They're Corel, and we've already dropped 1 or 2 and they haven't broken, so that's lovely. Before I get into that, this is the salad bowl we use, the bamboo bowl, so that just stays up there. The mugs stay here, the glasses stay here, and there's still 4 there, 4 here, plus his special mug he takes with him. This is more than we used to have. It's, you know, basically 8 of everything except the little bowls up there and the medium-sized plates. We didn't even have any of that really, so I'm torn because it's more than we need. In the meantime, I've talked about it with my husband Justin, and he feels like, you know, it's nice not having to wash after every single use. Because with 4 plates, you know, 1 for preparing, 1 for each of us to eat on, 1 for holding, you know, a side dish or whatever, it used up everything, and we always had to wash them, and that's okay. You know, you don't want a bunch of dishes in the sink, but you know, if you can utilize the dishwasher and, you know, hold a couple while you're using up others, it has been nice not to have to wash it every single time. But if I lived alone, I'd still just have probably 2 for myself. But I don't live alone, and now we have 1 extra little person that needs a little plate all of our own sometimes. So I think it's okay for now. I'm going to give it more time and see you know, if it comes in handy to have more, or if it becomes more inconvenient because there's more hanging out in the dishwasher. So we'll see. I will get back to you on that. And like I said, I'm a little torn about having more than that because it's technically more than we need because we made do with 4 of everything before. Which reminds me, she gave us, you know, the same. I had some Dollar Tree silverware, and I had 4 of everything, and now we have, it's about 8 of everything. But I did just count the spoons earlier, and there's more. I think there's 10 of them, so I'm going to at least, whoops, at least get rid of 2 of the spoons. I don't know if I kept some of my old ones or what happened. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. So 3 of the spoons are gonna go. They don't seem to match with the rest of the set anyway. So, like I said, more than usual, but I mean, I think it'll be okay. These are gonna go as well. You saw the 2 other mugs that are down below, or I'm sorry, the to-go cup of mine, the red one, as well as the the one of my husband's, which he does say he does want. So that's it for that section. Gonna go check it off. Okay, the cleaning supplies are out. This is everything, and I'm shocked at how much we have that I didn't realize already. So I gotta tell you, I'm glad I did this for this category. I'm really surprised. To start with, we have a broom and a mop, and we still have our old one, which fell down there. I didn't realize we didn't get rid of the old one yet, so that's gonna be trash because that one's already been used. I'll just go through everything, I guess. I like to make my own cleaning supplies at home. For example, I can start here. I always made all of our laundry detergent, but with cloth diapers I found out homemade detergent really doesn't work for cloth diapers. She was getting ammonia burns, not burns, but you could tell there was an ammonia buildup, I should say. So it was suggested to me, to my chagrin, to switch to a name brand. So we buy a free and clear, free from perfume and clear of dyes, and then like an Oxy all-purpose cleaner for some of the staining we had to get when we had to strip the diapers, and they were used to begin with, so I guess it needed to be done anyway. But we've been using this for now just since we stripped the diapers, and I probably have a lot of the detergent making supplies here on the table. I didn't know we had this, but I found this tucked away in a corner. I'm guessing my husband picked it up for when we borrowed a shampooer. Every now and again he borrows his mom's shampooer,
and we do the carpeting. I'm going to hang on to that because it's mostly full, and we do that every now and again, especially with a newly crawling baby. I found this tucked in the back. I'm not sure what I bought it for because we don't use bleach, so I'm not sure, but I can tell this is Dollar Tree brand, so I'm not missing. It's no great loss to donate a pretty much full bottle. I don't recall what I used it for or why I bought it, so that's going to go because I don't want to use things with those kind of fumes in the house. So since it's just been sitting there, he likes to vacuum with that kind of stuff with all the pets. Sometimes it kind of smells a bit in here. Okay, and then I found this, which I guess goes with, I guess it's detergent, right? Tide? Yeah? Alright, so I'm going to save that out and just use those. I have 2 loads of laundry I can do today, so I'm going to use those up and be done with it, and then this packaging can go. This is what I make. This is just a multi-purpose spray that I use. It's just equal parts vinegar and water, white distilled vinegar and water, and I use that for degreasing and wiping down surfaces and things. In this bottle I just got new, because then you can just fill it up with whatever, and I just refill it every now and again, so I definitely use this. This can stay. This is full. I think I might have gotten it to spray down the sofa, and like I said, usually I don't buy this kind of thing, but I think that I think if I recall, the dog had a bit of a tummy issue one day, and the whole house just smelled horrifically one day when I was pregnant, and it was too much for me. I'm going to put this in the maybe pile. I'm not sure what to do with it. This is a full bottle of hydrogen peroxide, and this is a pretty much empty bottle. I did not realize we had 2, so there you go. My husband Justin uses it to clean off game cartridges and things like that, and I use it to make homemade bleach, a bleach mixture. Same with the magic erasers you see right there. He uses them for game cartridges. So I'm just going to consolidate what's left. Oh, guess it was fuller than I thought. Consolidate. Here we go. Okay, so this is an empty bottle. This can go. Alrighty. And then these are so hit, right? Yeah, they should just go, I guess. And look at all that nastiness coming out of there. Don't know why we have those. This we got recently because we were trying to list one of our vehicles, and it's a good car cleaner. It'll do. This I use for some of my powdery substances, like washing soda. I make from baking soda and change the chemical compound by putting it in the oven. You have to use a funnel to even like get it in because it clumps up a bit. And same for, I store the, sorry, I'm blanking on words today. I store the laundry soap in bottles, and so since the bottles are so small-necked, I have to stick this in there, and the liquid goes in. Otherwise, I can't get it in the bottles. So that gets used, although I haven't put any washing soda in here in a long time, and I have other mason jars, so this one can go. Lots of other mason jars that need a purpose. I have these. Really, if you want to buy these Airwick type things, home air fresheners, if you do buy them, they're cheaper to just pick up a new set, because it comes with a cartridge every time, and it's cheaper than buying the fragrance itself for some reason. But again, I don't really like having that kind of fragrance in the house, so these can go. Those will go to donation because somebody else that doesn't mind that can use them, and then it won't be a waste. More carpet stuff. This is pretty much a one-use sort of bottle when you do the whole apartment, but it helps with the pet odors. This was my bleach container. It's been empty for a while, and lately if I want to lighten something, I'll just toss some baking soda or peroxide right in there instead of mixing it up and all that. So that can go. That's just an empty bottle. Our trash bags, I found these. These were from our home birth kit. They were supposed to just be like laid out and then used for refuse and things like that, but we have a lot left. I think right now we're using them for when we trim the dog. It's not ideal. We used to use a towel, but then the hair wasn't coming off the towel. If you have any suggestions for me, comment below on where to contain the hair so that it's not just going in the dryer or out into the yard when you live in an apartment. People don't love that, so. But here's the trash bags we currently use. I haven't found a zero waste option for trash bags for apartment living yet. I'd love to hear about that as well if you have some ideas for me. And these are the essential oils. I didn't realize this one was just given to me by a friend that was doing some product testing, and I have one lavender almost empty, and I have a new one that went with my diffuser. So one is for cleaning supplies, one I got with a diffuser, and then this one was is new, just a gift. So I didn't realize I had 3, but I think one's definitely like almost empty. I have 2 tea trees. Again, this was another product tested, and this was the one I was using for cleaning. Lemon also, that's for cleaning, for degreasing and that sort of thing, brightening. And then peppermint, which I was using in like a toothpaste and such. Those don't take up a lot of room, and I don't think they're not something I'd want to waste. I can definitely get use out of all of them because I only have the oils that I use. Nothing more. Again, I make my own dishwasher detergent. However, my husband brought home all these buckets of them. He found them, I guess. And he says, hey, they'll last us like a year. I prefer to have the natural stuff, but he brought them home, so we're going to use them. So I have several different bags, so what I'm going to do is just consolidate and throw them all into one tub, and then we don't have like a billion of these things floating around, right? Okay. Those ones are empty. And then there's a couple in here. Already this will be clearing up quite a good amount of room just to have it all in one bucket. Not sure how to film these hands-on videos. I guess I could set up the camera somewhere. Okay, now we have one. This one was one that he had brought home long ago, but I was keeping my homemade stuff in it. This one actually didn't come out right, and I realized it was my Prego brain when I made it. I realized I forgot an ingredient, so yeah, I usually just keep it in a container that I have laying around or in a mason jar. And this one actually I didn't even make right, so it can go, and that was when he brought these tubs home. So now we just have the one. I didn't know, for example, that I had 2 containers of apple cider vinegar. I don't know why. I use it for recipes and for cooking. I could probably pour most of what's left in here into that jar. Let's see. At least some of it. I can't even get this one open. Oh, there we go. I think maybe I won't, because look, they look different, don't they? They look like a different color. Maybe different brands shouldn't be mixed, on second thought. So, I'm going to leave this one, I guess, in my cleaning stuff and make this one cooking for now, because I use it for dressing sometimes. I don't know what this is. Disposal and drain foaming cleaner. I guess we must not use it much, but I would think it would go in with this kind of thing. He brings home little treasures sometimes. This canning and pickling salt is what I use for my dishwasher detergent. It's one of the ingredients. So I have, these are like a super cheap box. And let me see, I feel like it feels a little solid inside. Do these have an expiration date? See, you're learning with me. The more you know, right? I don't see an expiration date, but sure feels kind of hard, but maybe it just needs to be broken up from storage. Anyway, I use this for the dishwasher detergent, as well as the citric acid. That's one of the ingredients as well. So that stays because I make that for the typical when we don't have a giant bucket. A lint roller, our white distilled vinegar that I use for cleaning supplies, sometimes cooking. These just got brought home. I did have the 7th generation, and I was using the vinegar. So sometimes that multi-purpose stuff doesn't work awesome for certain surfaces, and I had the 7th generation wipes, but I just could not stand the smell of them, and it stayed on your hands forever. I would love something more natural. Maybe if there's another brand you guys know of, but for now I needed some wipes, and the ones I had, I used them up, but I wouldn't buy them again for sure. I don't know where these came from. I think there's like 3 left in here. I think these might have been found, these might be from work or something that he brought home. I'm not real sure, but it was in the bathroom, so. Okay, this is another multi-purpose that I use. It's almost, I would say, 2/3 full. And I have, that bucket there was my grandmother's bowl. I used it for bread making, and then I used it for cleaning when I stopped making bread. And that bucket was recently acquired when we had to clean the car to sell it. That bucket obviously would work great for cleaning the floors, more so than even the bowl there. But that bowl comes in handy a lot for cookware, so I think I might change it back over to that rather than for cleaning. And then this, we had some lime issues with the toilet. I don't know, I guess that's what happens when you have a used toilet, but this was suggested to me to pick up to help with the problem I'm having keeping the toilet clean. I'm not really sure what the problem is. Home ec wasn't my best category, but I think there was some rust going on or something, but this was suggested to me, that's why we have it. I think we've used it once or twice, and then I have some gloves. I'm going to go ahead and get this all tidied. I keep them in these bins up in the utility room, and they all fit, and you saw there was some underneath the sink, so I'm hoping to change that up so I'll have room for my small appliances, which is next on the list. So I will be back with you after I organize what I've decided to keep.